You are about to watch a conversation between me as an agency and one of our potential clients that was looking to integrate AI agents and automations in his business. You will learn how I approach this type of the calls, what real businesses are looking for right now, and what they are ready to pay money for. This video is made out of 2 consultation/discovery calls that we did with him. Pay attention to the details and you will find a lot of the valuable insights. If you want to either learn directly from me or work with my agency, check the links in the description. Enjoy.
Good morning, or I don't know, good afternoon. What time is it over there?
Yeah, it's 4.
Nice.
When do you wake up?
I usually wake up around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. every morning,
No.
but today I decided to sleep in a little bit.
No way, 4 a.m. Like I wake up at 11 a.m. But I mean, I work Eastern hours. So, and since like we have some team members in the US, so it's easier to manage everything.
That's good. That's good. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So, from the beginning, I was a professional hockey player. So I was playing professional hockey. I'm originally from Belarus, so I was playing for the national team. Then moved to the US with a dream to play in NHL. Was living in Detroit, was studying in college, playing junior. Then quit. Decided this is not something what I want to do for the rest of my life, and then started the kind of online business journey. My background is primarily e-com, so I sold to brands. A few went bankruptcy, and I still do own 2 brands. One of them we're selling personalized bridesmaid apparel. It's kind of random. We have an office in New York where like all the customization happening. Yeah, and about like 18, 19 months ago, started Quimple, was alone, started, this is not the first agency that I run, but I never had an experience with kind of getting the clients and like getting the offer out there. So that was around the time when OpenAI APIs, like ChatGPT APIs, went public. So yeah, started this, was doing everything myself, getting people through cold emails. Fast forward right now, we have a team of 6, 2 backend developers, 2 kind of strong no coders, and 2, executive managers, all remote around the world. In 2024, we worked with about 40 companies in total. And our main expertise is agents, but the customer facing agents. Like agents, like this is the term that, a lot of people throw here and there, like whatever, everything is an agent. It's not really, and if you talk to professors in some like university or research institutions, they'll say that this is not an agent still. In reality, like I think of an agent is something that is connecting like different tools together. And the difference between workflow and an agent is that agent can decide what, whatever by itself, what tool to run. Anyways, so we specialize in customer facing agents that communicate between you, like your business, and your customer, right? So think of everything from, customer support to sales pipeline to follow-ups to outreach, cold, hot, warm, stuff like that. And text agents can be both voice, like agents can be like voice or text and deployed in different channels, SMS, email, WhatsApp, phone, whatever.
So this video up.
Sorry, I'm just taking a screenshot to show you something for when you're done.
Yeah, so I'm done. So this is kind of the background. This is where we are at currently. Started to post content 6 months ago actively on YouTube,
How to
LinkedIn.
build 20.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so started to post content. This is, partially how I get the clients right now. It's like about 50% of the prospects come from my content, like you. And we still run, cold outreach to scale up.
The hockey stuff was cool. I just remember seeing that in your video.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't see anything about your e-com in any of your videos. That's an interesting thing. I would love to dive into that more. Um, how did you go from hockey to coding? Did you go to school for that? How did you learn on your own or
You mean coding? You said coding?
yeah, like JSON, that type of stuff?
Yeah, so you need to understand, like, I am not a coder, right? And like, again, so what is the, like, in 2025, a coder is like very broad term. Like, you can literally use Claude to do all the things. So in reality, I went to the ecom. After the ecom, within the brands, we were using things like Integromat, which is Make right now. We were using Zapier. We were using ManyChat. So we've been using different things. So once I landed into the model of, AI agents, I thought, okay, so what can I do? Whatever. So I was targeting different niches. And then actually, this is like the second business that I run besides Quimple is my like coaching business. This is like how because like and not like half of the audience that watch my content are guys like the business owners that are looking for like Quimple services, and half are the guys like me that want to sell, the things. So I decided like this is my way of monetizing everything. Anyways, so and like idea is that you do not need to be a coder. Like you just need to know the business skills, right, that I had, and then be able to formulate the team, and also have an experience of finding a really good use cases, finding what is going to work, and understanding like how to sell it. So that was kind of my and since I had some of the things, I started, to dive deep into this, then hired, a developer for, just like more the back end things, and was still doing, all the workflows and the front end myself. Yeah, and this is like still how it's going. I for the since like we work with medium sized usually companies, yeah, I still do handle all the communication as well as, the map out the whole workflow, and then if it's needed, the team is there to like connect more complex tools into the workflow.
I love that. I really do love that. Uh, being a business owner for many, many, many years, there's a good book that outlines this. It's called The E Myth by Michael Gerber, and it talks about like the skill.
E-myth? E-myth?
It's called E as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Myth by Michael Gerber. It talks about that thing that you just said about there is a difference between a technician of a skill and an entrepreneur that is able to connect all the dots and be able to make the use case and sell that to the general public and generate money. Um, and so I thank you for outlining that because that clearly gives me an idea of where you are in that.
Yeah.
Um, question that popped up.
Go ahead.
So let me share my screen real fast and let me see if I find that screenshot I just took. Here it is. So when you talk about agents, um, relevance AI is a name that gets thrown out a lot about how you can build these like super team of agents.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's a diagram. I don't know if I can even scroll in on it to show you exactly. I just screenshot this from a video that I saw where the inputs are done through a WhatsApp chat to a director agent that then decides, understands the context of all the agents underneath him,
You
and is
probably saw the ban AI video. It looks like the screenshot from his video or something.
that you so that exact use case. Are you telling me you're building that out?
So this like sometimes I'm a bit of controversial, and I'm like trying to be pessimistic, trying to get the like trying to be negative in terms of the AI implementation, and not saying that everything can be done with AI agents, and taking more of the realistic approach, 90% of the things that are shown on YouTube right now is shit and is not like really a good use case. It can be so like there are different layers. So the first layer is AI cannot handle it. Second layer would be AI can handle it, but you would not want AI to do that. Third layer is that AI can do that and you would want it to do. So, and usually it's like right now it's somewhere in the middle. And like we can talk about like specific use cases because, yeah, like technically there could be a relevance AI agent. Doesn't matter. It could be N8N or relevance. They're just the platforms, which we, by the way, don't use. Like we use N8N usually for the enterprises when they want to self-host things, whatever. Um, Other than that, we build the workflows because they're more reliable. So instead of like, for example, we're usually using voice flow for the text-based agents. Either just like even the notification that you got on the email, WhatsApp, and SMS that were automated. I just received your reply and then I hopped on. But these were so we have an agent that is built on voice flow that is connected to different channels. And voice flow is more like a linear builder where you define the logic. I just do not like when we build, for example, like we currently working with a client, they are called Magic Mind, right? So this is like a pretty big brand, and you may see them in like Walmart, whatever, or in Whole Foods. So they like have it's like we're for now automating influencer communication, and like they have thousands of like conversations per day, right? And we like the error the cost of a mistake is high and we just don't like want to build a super simple saying hey whatever the prompt and now you decide what tool to run to like get the information. In reality you don't need it, you just need the conversational flow, and at the third stage you would want to connect to Bittrex or to some other software to retrieve information from there. Anyways, so there are like a lot of use cases, like and like we can just talk about it and I will give you an example how we would build it.
Mhm. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm understanding from you is that Ben AI, that video where he's talking about this type of use case is um, one way to skin the cat, but there's a more efficient way to skin the cat by utilizing some type of a workflow. Let's shift gears because I do want to get to my specific use
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
Um, uh, so.
Tell me more about the business.
So I'll start there. I'll show you in numbers. Um, this was our just our KPI for up until the end of 6th to 12th of 2025. I'm driving about 1,554 calls a week to my business. I lived in Colombia for a year, Colombia, the country for a year, in 2021. 2020, I made a shit ton of money in real estate. And I was working my ass off, dude. Like, being an entrepreneur, you got to work
Yeah.
freaking ass off. And so I was working my ass off pretty much forever. And I turned 32, 33, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go and like enjoy my life for a year. And I had made a ton of money. And so I moved to Colombia for a year, and I had like the best year of my life. And I was so impressed by the people in Colombia. And I imagine you're probably one of you know this story. The people in Colombia that never left the country, but they speak English like perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
They're resourceful people. And I said to myself,
Why
oh,
Colombia?
the women, if I'm honest.
Okay. Okay.
The
Okay.
women. Yeah. So anyway, I went to Colombia and I was super impressed by the people and I could get cheaper labor. So I came back to the United States. I fired my American staff and I hired Colombians. And it for 2025 it worked great. So from like middle of 2024 to the end of 2025, like it's great because I can get really quality labor for way cheaper. And um, I started driving more traffic to my business.
Wait,
But
can you
now,
please
Mhm.
elaborate a bit on the actual like business model? Like I just not getting it a bit.
So my business, the model is this. In the United States, you have two options to sell your ugly house. You can either sell it to an investor who will buy it for 50 cents on the dollar, spend their money, renovate it, and then take the equity when they sell it. That's where they make the value. Or you can come out of your own pocket and renovate the property yourself with your own money and sell it and maximize the value of selling your house. Well, most people don't have that money. So my model is I'll come in with my construction crews, we'll renovate the property top to bottom, we'll fund it, and we'll just get paid after the property sells. And so I basically connect the dots between the construction, the client, and the funding.
Oh,
And
okay.
I build this thing called Renovate Now, Pay Later, where people who got a property that they want to renovate, but they don't have the money and they don't have an option, otherwise,
Is
another
this
option.
usually like the property they live in or like they just own? What are the type of the properties? Like they, yeah, wow,
So,
like that's
so it's
impressive.
ugly and we make
Okay.
it beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And so these are usually their houses. The vast majority of the properties that we do is their primary residence where they live in, and it looks like this.
Okay. Yeah.
And they want to sell it for top dollar on the market, but they can't because they don't have the money to renovate it. So we come in, we'll renovate it, we'll fund it, we'll make the process seamless. We have some technology for them to be able um, to view it. I don't. You probably know who Alex Hormozy is. I
Yeah,
have
of
his
course.
here. Where is it? Um, so we basically put the Grand Slam. Oh shit.
$100 million offer.
Yeah, we put the offer in place, and we use that value framework to sell the clients.
I mean, it
And
seems like a no-brainer for me. I mean, like you do everything and then you sell it. You obviously charge the premium on it, but like whatever.
Well, it's a win-win because the homeowner nets more money. So let's say they were going to net $100,000 before, they now net $170,000 without investing a single dollar in their property. The realtor that we market to, the realtors that we market to, the realtors are the people that sell the houses, right? Where they're connected with the client. Think about like an affiliate,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, I know.
so they're connected with the client. They then they look at the house when they walk in. They're like, "This thing is ugly. I'm never going to be able to sell this thing. The thing is going to sell it, sit on the market." We market to them so they know that they have a tool in their toolbox,
Ah, okay, 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 okay.
and then they bring us the client.
Got it. So you're kind of the ice like the ideal customer profile for targeting are the like real realtors essentially. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I get it.
That's that's who we market to. I have a feeling with that being in place to take all of my inbound calls and um, and us maximizing because we do RVMs, us maximizing that, like eventually we're gonna be like either we open up more markets that we just continue to keep on marketing to realtors to, or we decide like direct to consumer, where we start
Yeah.
marketing directly to homeowners
And
for them.
you're
Yeah.
and are you operating only like in obviously smaller like location? Is it like the whole state or
We are located in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, Tampa, Northern Georgia, and I got some projects in Miami. And my goal is I'd like to expand this to like probably like 30, 40 locations around the United
so
States.
you essentially have the teams there in place? that are, and when you say the 1,500 calls that you received are like in like different locations combined?
Yeah, we had to scale. We can't. I'm missing so many calls that I can't mark. I got to figure out a cure to the problem
Yeah, sorry,
before
sorry. And like, and before you continue, and how do you, when you say like inbound, okay, so total inbound calls, but how do you get them? Like you run ads or like SEO? What's the strategy?
RVMs.
Ah, okay, okay,
Yep, we RVM instantly. Right now, this week we had sent out 41,000 RVMs.
okay.
28,000 of them got delivered. That generated about 1,554. I want to get this to 400,000 a week, but I can't do that because I don't have enough butts and seats to answer the calls. This by doing this, this will like 6x my business. So talk about like a glowing testimonial. If you help me go from where I am now to like 25 million, 30 million, 40 million, uh not only will I sell your shit, your what's it called? Quimpy?
Quimple, Quimple.
Wimble. Not only will I be able to like be the biggest testimonial for you, I think what I really want to do is package the entire telecommunication stack. I made this last night. Let me see if I can remember what the hell I made it on. Hold on. It was called like, let me show you something.
Yeah.
Fig jam. I don't know. This. So outbound RVMs to inbound agent, outbound MMS. I have a theory that the reason why people hate text messages is because it's so so text driven that if we built something like this, um, hold on, let me show you.
You're
I
an
might
active
be
user of like different LLMs, I would imagine.
I went deep. It's been about 2, 3 weeks of me going super deep into this. Where is it? Is it here today? I hope they didn't delete it. Ah, here it is. So my idea is to send bulk MMS um, to people's phone in 916 format, so it's long format commercials where it's audio and visual as opposed to text because I feel like bulk text is like played out. It's 2004. Back in 2004, probably if you dominate in that space, you get nice good response rates. But now people are nose deaf to it. People are even nose deaf, I feel like, to Instagram ads where Facebook ads, it's still probably the still number one method out there. But when you start scrolling on your Instagram and an ad's coming, you like start to mentally not even prepare to look at that ad. And you probably see 20% of the ads that
Yeah.
you're engaged with. We got to do something completely different. And I think AI is perfectly placed to be able to create these instantly that's when I was talking about, and just so you know, my mind can go really fast. If you need me to slow down,
Yeah, yeah. I'm gathering everything. So I'll give you my opinion. So can you go back to the Figma? So board? No.
I don't know where I put it. Hold on.
Okay, so you already joined the boot camp. I can always say a boot camp. I, yeah, it's
Oh, I've been moving fast. I don't waste time. I move really fast. Partly because I have the time, because I'm an
yeah.
entrepreneur and I've got systems and I got businesses and I got capital and so I can move it.
So outbound RVMs, and like how is it done right now? So because like myself never we've been like sending the voice mailers through the voice AI, but so how do you currently set it up?
Outbound RVMs are done through a provider called Drop Cowboy.
Drop cowboy. And
So I
so
use. I use Drop Cowboy to send out RVMs. I want them to go to so people call us back.
How does it like look? What you're saying?
What you Drop Cowboy?
Yeah, so how does the actual like message is looking that you're dropping?
Oh, an example of a message. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Worried about your listing not selling?
That's not. Let me see if I have one that's a little bit there.
Do you have a house that's been sitting?
So 11 Labs text to speech to get this.
Does it need a lot of work? I can help you with that. I can even fund it for you. Call me back at 571-445-0720. And if you think this doesn't apply to you, give
Okay.
us a call back and tell us.
So that drops into the message. They listen to it. We get the call back. My Colombians are in this seat, but I want to use an inbound agent to qualify it. I set one up already through Vappy. Right here. Gave it the knowledge base, gave it everything. I I'm very proud of myself. This is my
No, I
first.
mean like that's impressive, man. Like I mean, in 2 weeks, I mean, good
Oh
job.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean I'm very yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So I set this up. I tried to set it up through Bitrix. I kind of ran into some problems. I had no idea that I had to actually go into here. I was using tools to try to send it, not knowing anything about anything. And I figured out some because YouTube, you have everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I found out that it was in here, the server URL
In
to
functions, yeah, in
yeah, it
tools.
functions the server URL to then parse the data through the structured data to send it through make. And I was successfully able to last night do it through an Airtable. So if I was able to do it to Airtable, I could definitely send it to Bitrix.
Yeah, of course.
And so that's the idea, right? Outbound RVMs to inbound. Then so once we perfect that and get really, really good at that, and then qualifying the lead to the CRM for my Colombian team is over here to do the to do the inside sales rep stuff to set up for my construction team. Then I want to build out the outbound MMS that it's like commercials. It's like well done, high end, like fun, but it's not like commercial. It's like got to be like Holiday Inn Express commercials. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Okay. So in the 90s and in the early 2000s, Holiday Inn did commercials that were funny, that were unique. The best way for somebody to interact with your ads is you have to either provide value by entertainment or education.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of commercials that they play.
And so you're saying you would want AI to create, right, this commercials and then send it as with the actual SMS, like through this, okay, voice and sound with the call to action to the yeah, okay, I get it. Then outbound MMS and email, text voice, combine it together. Got it.
I
Outbound
don't
voice.
want to. I want to do the same commercials. I don't want to do text. I want to make it engaging,
Yeah.
completely different than everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So where do you get the prospects right now and what information you have about them?
So these are right now, everybody are realtors in the bucket. And their information is very easily accessible. And I'm sure if we train the tool, we might even be able to scrape information about them online because they're like regular people.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So and how many like there are like thousands, right, in your area?
Yeah, I've got in my hometown, I think I've got like 100,000.
And you have there both like phone, actual phone, obviously, since people like contacting them. Okay. And the
And
email. Okay. 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 Good. 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 Now, so let me actually jump in and tell you
okay.
my opinion. Okay. So I know, the logic of the actual, and keep that
Okay.
open. Yeah, so and like I know the logic of cold outbound because first, this is how I like scaled my agency. This is one of the most popular solutions that we have been doing in 2024 that I said like AI SDRs, right? It's a bit different. So we've been like usually working with supply chain or B2B SaaS, right? But it's pretty similar. So and essentially this is everything, from the prospecting, research, qualification, personalization, and the outreach. So what I'm thinking is like just from what I see, okay, outbound in RVMs working. I don't like the voice, whatever. I don't like but it's easily fixed, right? You can work on that.
Mhm.
For the outbound MMS, honestly, like literally no idea how it's gonna work. And literally like never like I played around with Sora. So I have no idea how good it's gonna be in the in terms of the ads. What I'm thinking, so this is kind of not so like I can help you to build better, voice agent with 11 labs. You just change the voice, whatever. So it's not the value. For the MMS, whatever. So this is also not the thing. Now, my concern would be okay, now we're talking about the actual messages. You're probably used Twilio, and now we're like, okay, so what's the not legal side in terms of like the if it's legal or not in terms of the server side and how Twilio is gonna, like understand this messages and if it's not gonna block you depending on the volume. Anyways, but this is also fixable. What I'm thinking is that I do not agree with you when you say that, cold text is not working. And I'm not like selling you on the cold text. What I'm saying is that cold emails are literally fucking dead. Okay. No, like cold emails, like like it was there for like 20 years, but it still does work. And like it was like because when you started to explain this thing, it does look very similar. They didn't go that in depth because you were like super technical. You have the time, as you said. The guys, we're actually working with them for a month now. Sire, it's called like Sire Management Solutions. It's in all. So this is a company in Australia. They help businesses to let me sell the website. Okay, so they a second, find it.
They help businesses.
So they help to sell businesses. Okay, uh, they're like revamping the website. I think it's this one that is working right now.
So they're a broker for people that want to sell their businesses. They go to Sire Management and Sire Management helps them sell
I
their.
send you the link in Zoom. Yeah. So, and what we like we're doing for them is setting up the outbound SMS agent that is sending highly personalized SMS, right?
Mhm.
And it was like kind of easier on Australia. And then, like I'm like open, we were still in the construction. We still haven't done, so I don't have, the exact results. Which are highly personalized. So imagine if I say, hey Zach,
Mhm.
so and like so you're like selling this property and um what are congrats on winning like
Mail merge
tournament and
things
yeah,
that are
so like
specific to
doing
them. Mhm.
so you will feel that it's like something relevant and this way you cannot so what I'm saying is that the personalization can do the job, so I'm not sure how good of the like this part, yeah, so the video MMS would work. My guess would be to first, start, and my suggestion would be to first start with a highly personalized thing. Now, when it comes to the personalization of the information of the realtors, we need to understand like because there's a personalization for the sake of the personalization. Like I saw your daughter won this tournament, which is not relevant to the business that we're selling. or something that can be relevant, that can be retrieved about their profiles. And it's now easy for AI to kind of craft these things. So I think this is pretty straightforward. So you have the RVM. So this is how I would set it up. So you have the outbound RVMs, just work on the voice. That's it. Everything goes into the website inbound. Okay, inbound agent, the website, because they're, yeah, so obviously they are saying, yeah, call me back. You have the personalized text, outbound AI voice, which is the cold calling. Eventually, it's going to be banned in the US. Not so whatever. So it depends on how you would want to structure it. So it's also possible. Now, so this is the top of the funnel, right? So
Mhm.
when it comes to the middle of the funnel, this is where like the magic happens, and this is where like I think. Can you still see me? Hear me?
Yep, I still see you. I'm here. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
checking my
So,
phone.
so
Mhm.
what I'm saying is that this is where like the magic happens in the middle of the funnel. So what we would do is we would build like an agent on voice though. We would train it on all of like the knowledge base on all of your information. We would set up probably six different intents of how the conversation can go, loop them inside so that it can like answer any like question or concern, like have the qualification and nurturing parameters, and then it's done. VoiceFlow introduced voice AI feature. It's literally like it's in beta right now.
What's it
Uh,
called?
VoiceFlow. I mean, it's weird because it's not voice. So they're called voice flow, but it's like text flow. And they
Yeah.
only now, and I'm in beta. I'm like like have very tight connections with the team. Um, because like we were like kind of an early adopter of whatever when they started to pop up.
Sure, I get
So
it. Mhm.
so this is like very, as you can see, very conversational like, and when you like create in-depth flows. So what I'm saying is that potentially you can have one agent on the voice flow that is connected to your phone number so that when people are messaging your back on the SMS, you can like AI can talk to them, qualify. I can guarantee that 9 out of 10 people will not know that it's AI. We figure out we are the only company right now on the market in like public space, YouTube, whatever, that can send and like that figure out the way to send and receive multiple messages from the user, because we're like like check our WhatsApp conversation. We're like sending messages one by one, and we're like responding and receiving multiple messages. So this is how we designed our solutions. And you can actually watch the video on my YouTube where where I'm showcasing the SMS agent for like a B2B startup. Um, so what I'm saying is that the middle of the funnel can be done on the voice though. For the calls,
Hold on, I'm still a little confused on that. I want to, before you move on to the next point, I want to make sure I understand exactly how you see voice flow can, are we talking about after here, or are we talking about here? Where are we talking about?
no, so inbound AI agent, the yellow one here, this is the middle of the funnel,
Yeah.
right? So the CRM is the bottom of the funnel. So
Mhm.
here you have text and voice, okay? Agents. So when you are saying, like when you are leaving RVMs, people are calling you back. So they usually, right? So they land into the voice agent, right? So the voice agent. It's like responding to the calls.
It's like VAPI AI.
Yeah, like VAPI. Yeah, whatever. So this is the VAPI. Um, when if you are gonna do what like I'm, you know,
Proposing. Yep.
yeah, proposing, and the same way would be probably like my guess if you would do the MMS, they would probably text you back. I'm not sure. depending on the call to action. But I would say that the call to action is let me know or send me a message back. So if they call, they will land into VAPI. But if they text you SMS, they will land into voice flow. The same way with the email, potentially in future, once you're receiving a reply to the email, it's also going to voice flow. So it's like voice flow for all text based and VAPI for all the AI based.
Yeah,
What,
I'm with
what
you. I'm 100% with you now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
what I'm also saying is since voice flow started to go all in on voice AI, competitor to VAPI,
Mm-hmm.
we are still testing the latency. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if in there like in beta, it's gonna be like published in like a few weeks. If the latency is gonna be comparable, probably like VAPI will be faster anyways, like obviously. But if it's gonna be close, no need to like use VAPI. Like you can literally build the master, like your copy paste
Mm-hmm.
version of you on VoiceFlow
Mm-hmm.
that can handle text and voice inputs. And now they have inside VoiceFlow, you have the connection to the CRM through you can do make, through the webhook to make, then process the data to Bittrex, or API request inside VoiceFlow because they have developer tools to Bittrex, retrieve information from Bittrex throughout the whatever, and like there's like a whole bunch of possibilities. So this kind of just my initial thoughts.
So let me just tell you about my framework and how I approach business as a whole. I
Yeah,
approach business that I don't know shit about shit. I don't know what's gonna work. I don't know what's not gonna work. Everything that I do, I A/B test everything. So and I'm always looking for a better mousetrap. My goal is to build out this full tech stack, the telecommunication tech stack that is able to interact with people utilizing AI to do all of the heavy lifting, and I can pour 1 million people into it, and then it will generate cash from whatever vertical that I go after. Whether it's this my business right now, my construction business, whether it's another business I buy, whether it's education vertical, whether it's like all of these different verticals, I want
yeah.
AI to do all of the marketing and sales, or at least the qualification, and then I can have a team do the sales. Now, everything that I've ever done with RVMs have always been a split test. I like your split test that you recommended between highly personalized messages versus MMS message. I don't know shit about shit. I don't know which one's gonna work. I don't know. I
Sorry
have.
to interrupt. Have you, and
Mhm,
I'm not sure how the
mhm,
RVM system, whatever you mentioned,
mhm.
but imagine voice AI personalized RVM. Like
Yeah, that's
that's gonna
exactly.
be like with
Yep.
the tone of like some because there's like in Vibe there like in 11 Labs obviously like voices like Texan, like
Yep.
50-year-old Texan, like girl, or woman. No
Yep.
way they will think that it's out. Like literally no. So also, yeah, I like the approach. AB. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, exactly that, right? Where the next iteration of this is personalized based on their profile. If they're a man, they're more likely to like a woman voice.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah,
same type of thing. So there's so many iterations how we can get better and better. And just to have the system by itself on baseline, nobody's doing this. Like very few people in the world are probably trying to build something like this out. And then if we were able to take it to another level with everything you just said, we A/B test, does MMS play better or highly personalized messages play? Whatever the results, the data says, that's what we double down on. And then I like the idea of what you said about how that being voice flow, how we could create an efficiency all within one system. Because right now, I've got to piecemeal it out because it's such a brand new industry. There's not one guy that can kind of do it all. Right now, we've got to use make.com and Frankenstein it together.
yeah, yeah.
And I've done demos with obviously 11 labs for the RVMs. I've done demos with there's guys like Sales Ape. I've got a master spreadsheet of all the different pieces of this. Obviously, I started off on my journey on something horrible, and then finally found Vappy by way of Play AI. They told
Yeah.
me about Vappy, got to Vappy. I understand that we can also do outbound. I understand we could even outbound voice notes. I already have text providers. You had mentioned about Twilio. I already got a Twilio account set up, and I already know the right guys in the market that we could do bulk MMS for. So I don't see that as a problem. I already
Okay,
have
okay,
all the
okay. I
data
like it.
providers. I already kind of thought like on chess move 10, 12. So I'm sitting here listening to you, and I already can see how if I combine my knowledge in my head with some of your knowledge in your head, we can Frankenstein this together. And then ultimately, I had sent to you a bunch of the verticals. My business is a great breeding ground for this. My business, because I already have existing traction and for years and years and years and years and years. So there's a great breeding ground. I think a better use case than the agency, I mean, the agency model could make money, right? For sure. There's no doubt about it. The agency model could make money. But if we want to make like serious money, the better vertical is to find local home services businesses that
Yeah,
are
that's crazy. They're
ready.
like productizing this thing. Yeah.
You Alex Hormozy acquisition.com mixed with the AI component of it to make the old businesses like there's so many of them here where they're like they make so much money but they're old and they're like got to retire and they want to kind of like sell the business. We come in, we buy it at a 3 multiple of EBITDA. And they're still using QuickBooks, they're still using like spreadsheets, they're still using like old archaic systems. We then put AI into it, make the EBITDA and the LTGP to CAC explode, then cash flow, and then 5 years sell it to a hedge fund for a way higher multiple than they would have gotten if we just kind of like use the same systems because we've implemented AI. And so we make it easier for that hedge fund. And I already have the hedge funds that will buy it because those are my the people that fund my construction deals. So I already know who will buy the business. I've
Ah,
kind of got a lot of pieces of this. The kind of missing piece for me is the full tech stack, building this entire thing out and then utilizing it in my business to like 6x it. If we could do that, they've got the education vertical, we've got the what you're already in right now, right? And but I know how we could kind of like really explode that. And then, but the real meat and potatoes, dude, is we buy a business for 700 grand that shoots off $300,000 in cash flow every single year. We put this in place, make it go from 700 grand to 3 million with LTV to CAC that goes from a 5 to 1 to like a 16 to 1, and then sell it for an 8x multiple and cash out on a $20 million business. That's the thing that let me know if I lost you.
yeah, no, no, you have not. So, I mean, that sounds like something really good. And I mean, in reality, I think that, and you see this, right? And this like we can like transfer a bit like to like our calibration and how we can work. I think in reality, like the barrier of entry in the space is super low. Um, and like there are so many like people from third party countries that can do shit for cheap, right? It's just a matter of, having an experience of building the systems that perform and not just overcomplicate things. Like giving you an example, I do believe that most of these things, like probably 95% of everything that we talk, like can literally be built with no code. Like in let's say JavaScript API, like, these are not code. So literally. So and sometimes when you talk to, especially if you have the budgets, you talk to the people there. So yeah, like we need crazy software development. And like to back to the example of Magic Mind, the guys were they had like 25 people in the influencer marketing department in Romania. And they were doing like the director of the department said that and they were using a spreadsheet, like Google spreadsheet, and they were like lagging. So, and they were like, yeah, we need the software. We need to build the software. So they hired the software developers and they were building them the software. When I came in, so William actually like reached out to me through the YouTube also, and he's like, so what's up? What do you think about it? I was like, bro, like this is Airtable. Like you can literally do it in Airtable. Like why? So what I'm thinking is that I do have like an experience of like in this field, and you have an experience of packaging it literally like app and selling this shit out of the system. And it's, yeah, I mean, so it seems like a really good value proposition to any business. Either you're like selling this or you're like buying businesses and implementing this. This is like a toolkit. Now, so what I'm thinking is and this is what we started to introduce, recently. I didn't like set it to you initially in the WhatsApp because I have no idea regarding you. We can work on the project base, right? So we can technically work like it's gonna be a harder quote. So like because like there are so many moving pieces, and especially with the way how you move, like how fast you move and how many things you have in your head. Um, so it's gonna be, harder quote, right? But we can figure it out. So like go one by one, chunk it down to like 5 different pieces and quote like each piece and go one by one, step by step. What we can also do is to do the CAO type of the service. And the term is Chief Automation Officer. So like us will be your, chief automation company that you are, hiring the same way as you would hire, and the someone in your office. You just, hire us and we talk, right? So we communicate with you all the time, obviously, and we will give you, since like we're still working. Okay, so this type of the work will take like 3 weeks. This type of the work will take like 4 weeks or like 2 weeks or whatever. So we'll have the timeline of like building certain projects, but you can then understand, okay, so we have, I have Quimple for what are 96, it's usually the price, 96,000 a year contract, paying monthly with what are any terms, any flexible cancellation terms. I pay it, and I have Eugene, I have Quimple to build the things that I would want. And that's it. So there are like, again, so either project or CEO, depending on how you would want it. But I would be really interesting yeah, to get involved.
Likewise. I think we had a lot of synergy on the call. I think I like the fact that you're a dot connector as opposed to a technician. Um, what I've learned as I've built companies and businesses and teams is that having a dot connector is actually more valuable than a technician because they can see outside the box and push. So yes, I think I want to get started immediately at building this. This is the most important thing. I've kind of got every other piece of my business. This is like my one thing. That's like the most important thing that I focus on, because as soon as I put this in place, it's success is my business. I've learned that it's easier to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So chunking it down is the approach that I would say that we take. Right now, the most important chunk is RVM to inbound to CRM after there's qualified. And I have already built the agent in Vappy. I have started the Airtable thing, and I'd like to get that to Bitrix. I will be putting that in place today. I have a couple meetings in the morning, and then I have a deep focus block. What's important to me is speed. So, and it's something that I want to learn too. So, what I think is the best way to handle this moving forward is let's date before we get married.
Yeah.
I am putting in place this Bitrix thing. If I come across any roadblocks, I would like to engage your firm to help me solve those roadblocks. Um, Tell me about your team, like, because do you have a project manager I would interface with? How is the best way for me to interface with your team once I have a problem to get it done fast?
Yeah. So, yeah, and this would be kind of not the concern, but the thing that we would need to do. So the team looks like, so I have the two backend developers, right? So they are usually, so for example, we are like managing things on ClickUp. So we have this our project management software. And once there's like so hey, and we have like two flow developers. They're working end-to-end, make voice flow, retail, and VAPI. So retail, so we're like right now split testing retail and VAPI. They're like very similar. Retail is a bit on the performance, it's a bit faster, but are not significant. So, and they are like the ones that are mapping. So once we land into the project, I map it out myself. Then I like put them in place to actually build out the flow and, for example, the voice flow, or write down the prompts or make the connections. Once we land into the technical difficulty of doing like not knowing how to do something, we actually send the like, transfer it to the technicians. My guys are like they're not perfect in English, so they're in Pakistan and India, so they're like two guys. Um, and that's it. So what I was saying is that my concern would be that if you, let's say, land into something, right, there's still turnaround time because we have the projects, right? So it's still not like a full-time team that can, resolve the queries within like a 24-hour turnaround time. So that would be kind of the concern, because like let's say that, like, because there are two parts. Like the first part is you building something on your end and having, us as to help you out. And another thing is like us building the whole thing from scratch.
Yep.
From what I saw, like the prompt, right? So like is like we would restructure the prompt, we would restructure the tooling, the make scenario, test it out. So usually the communication is happening like through me and you, right? So it's either WhatsApp or like email. I CC the project manager, but like she never then talks. Actually, like she's like seeing all our conversation. I am then setting up the task for the team, and then like we're like going from there. So this is kind of, yeah, how in
So
general.
that's nice. That's interesting to know. You and I might see eye to eye and might be a good fit, you and I, but the way that your infrastructure is set up right now, it may not be a good fit for me. I won't know until we start trying stuff.
Yeah.
So let's, like I said, date before we get married. I move fast. This is the most important thing in my entire life right now, is to put this in place, and I need to understand every small piece of it. And I need to be able to get real time, quick feedback as to if things work or if they don't work. I can't wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's a large amount of time in my business. Um, uh, uh, we move in matter of hours, in days. We don't move in terms of weeks. And that's what I've learned. I've been in business for like 12, 13 years, dude. And I've learned that's like an important thing for your one thing. Your one thing, the most important thing in your business. And so right here, speed is almost more important than getting it done right, because I know get
Okay, so good, good. So then I get it. Like I get it. So I get your position, you get my position, since like we have multiple projects. Now, what I'm thinking is that since I do want to work on this, and I'm like, we're not like discussing the terms yet, right? So we're like getting, we need to get started. We need to get the ball rolling with something. What I'm thinking is that I will think, because like technically this project like can be done again, like project, so it's like it's broad term. Like, let me, can you send me the Figma? And I still have the recording, whatever, so send me the Figma file. I will map it out, and I will actually provide you the timeline, like give you my view on the steps, like how to do one, two, three, four,
Mhm.
with having the time in mind, like with thinking how I can dedicate like me to this project, right? So for like certain amount of weeks, right? We like still finishing up like other projects, but we'll hold on like the new ones potentially, and dedicate like a lot of the time here. So let me think about it. Let me think. Because yeah, like I understand what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're on the same page there. Here is the file. I just put it in the chat. I think you already have my email if you want to send me an email.
Where do you send it? You probably send it to some like to Read AI or something.
You to read AI notes direct message. I remember I did. I just put it. Let me see, chat. Hear more chat. Yeah, it's in the chat directly to you,
I don't see it.
everyone. Let me see. Yeah, it's a direct message to you. I sent you a PDF of it.
I don't. Can you maybe? I for some reason I don't see it. Maybe WhatsApp.
All right, I'll send it in WhatsApp.
Yeah. Anyway, so I will. Yeah. So again, we'll later today. We'll or
Mm-hmm.
early tomorrow. We'll send it to you. All right. So we'll send you the map how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
With certain time frames.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So and then we'll like decide if we would want to move forward with it.
Yep. I like it. Let's I can't let me share a link via WhatsApp. Maybe this will. Yeah. It'd be easy. Are you not able to send me an email?
I can like
Be
have you
easier if
received
you
my
send me an email.
yes, I already did actually.
All right. Let me
After
go.
after the WhatsApp. It not me, like the AI send you the email. It says talk with Eugene 1 hour ago.
All right. Uh, talk with Eugene. Okay, this is you. Okay, let me just reply all and then upload this file. Insert file. Boom. There you go. See attached. Boom. You've got the file in your email. So should we put in the calendar a follow-up call? For
Uh,
how much time do you need?
no. I will get back to you on WhatsApp. I'm glad you use it. I mean, usually it's not the like Western world is not using WhatsApp that much. So, but you were in Colombia, so it's understandable. Yeah, I got the attachment. Okay, sure. So I will get back to you. So we'll think on what's the best way then, and like for us to collaborate, and how we can make it as fast as possible, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I'll be standing by for your WhatsApp message, and then we'll go from there and we'll schedule another meeting if need be. Okay.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. Hello, my friend.
Hi, what's up? Give me a second.
Take your time.
Yeah, here I am. How's it going?
Good. So I spent the morning Basically spent the morning getting my prototype in as many hands as I possibly can so I can hear interactions with friends and family, and iterating around some of the dials in VAPI. And I also spent the morning kind of meditating on what our conversation. And so you're hired. I just want to say that you're hired. I don't know how it looks, but you're hired. I thought by this time I would have a clear picture as to what I want to do and what I don't want to do. And I think I have a bad assumption when I'm thinking of that because I don't know what requires prompting and prompting is enough or versus JSON, and what can really integrate. So what I think our appropriate next step should be um, is for me to get a clear picture, um, agree on what we believe like those modules should be, and then break down what I would like to take on, and then what I would like for you guys to take on. And to give you an example, like the cold email warm up sequence, I think that's something that needs to start now. Buying all the domains, handling all of that. Something like integrating everything with Go High Level. I have no experience with Go High Level. I would like to know how, I would like to be involved and be able to play around and move things around and try some stuff. But I don't think I really want to be involved in actually the make.com to go high level.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have clarity around the pieces. And I thought I'd have that by now, but I don't.
Okay, so and we can go through kind of the presentation together, not the presentation, the map, and like essentially talk about it. Maybe it will help you a little bit.
Brandon, I'm on Zoom. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon, are you there? Nope, I missed the call. All good.
Okay, so let's actually. Do you see the screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you walk me through a little bit on the RVM side? Like, how is it currently working? I'm just like really trying to, since it's working already, right? And the only thing that we can do is to just for the current structure, just to improve the voice again. I would be suggestion. So you should play around with that. Um, and with the tone and stuff. But when it comes to the personalized, so when I'm trying to think is how to access, like, so is it like the tool? How does it called again?
Called Drop Cowboy. I do not know if they have an API, because that's the first thing that I think of when I
And like
think
you
what you're
just
about to say.
input the contacts and the message there, and that's it. And it's
Yep. I basically have somebody on my team, an administration person on my team that basically manages the contact list. They use 11 labs to do text to speech, and then they then upload the audio file, upload the updated DNC list so we don't contact the people that have requested to be on DNC. They then toggle a toggle switch that says how many RVMs to be sent out per hour, verify everything set up properly, and then press go.
okay. And so it's sending everything inside from the software. So it's like ascending software essentially. Okay. Good. Can you spell it again?
Drop Cowboy, DROP Cowboy. And I'm going to send Elliot a message right now and ask him if he's got an API integration.
Drop Cowboy.
Because any automation would have to require some type of API, right?
Yeah. I
Do you
mean,
have
not
experience with
so.
operator?
Hmm? What are you
You-
saying?
I was saying, do you have any experience with operator, OpenAI operator yet?
Nah, it's too early. Like, not so. It's not production ready yet. To input anything. When we need to input something, we are doing through the Python scripts, which are kind of, again, it's not without AI. So it depends. Okay, so at the dashboard, I'm getting, okay, so voices. And so why 11? Like, why not your voice?
Because we did A/B test for 12 months. We came up with about, I think, 40 different variables. Female voice versus male voice, young voice versus old voice, everything. I could go through the whole framework, but there's a lot. And the results of all of those A/B tests is that the public likes a young female voice that speaks in a certain way, and there's an avatar of what that voice needs to look like because of the response that we got from the data.
Okay. Just the delivery brand workflow automation.
I'm emailing him right now, being like, if I request Elliot, would I be? Um,
Probably.
uh,
No, probably not. Because, like, essentially what we are, like, thinking, drop Cowboy API. Advanced AI SMS API, okay. APIs, okay. Directly integrating this delivery into your software. So API, ringless voicemail, sending ringless, team ID, attributes, secret, brand, recording. Okay, so the recording ID audio recording to send your contact is located. Your accounts, recordings tab.
Eugene, can I send you $1,000 right now?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Because I would like you to know that I'm serious. I'm not just wasting your time, and that I do want an engagement. And you've provided so much value thus far. I'd like to send you some money so that like you can make this a little bit higher on your priority list and figure out how we can make this thing happen. Can I send you some money right now?
yeah, sure. So, let me actually. Don't worry. So, I understand your seriousness. And like, I trust that you're kind of really
Send me a link after the call, and I'll
Yeah,
take care of it.
yeah, I will. I will. Okay. So, anyways, so essentially, what I'm seeing right now is that we can send API, API request, but it's saying the recording. Essentially, here, it's probably going to use the property requires special approval. Please contact support the URL, voicemail, audio to play input. So yeah, I mean, this is like, for example, what we would do is technically we would create the voice recording, and it's like it's I'm trying to say the technical side. This would be like on the harder side probably. So you would use 11 Labs, but you would have 10,000 MP3s with different recordings saying with like different text. So essentially, what you would do is first we would say, "Hey, these are the contacts." And we're not even saying the name. Are we saying the name in the audio? You right now.
The name of the person, is it
Yeah.
personalized? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
They're not personalized.
Not at all. Okay, but it's like it's super obvious. Drop cowboy. Per AI personalization. Don't they have it? It's it's it's
Elliot just messaged me back. I have an open API. You already have access to it. He attached for documentation on how to set it up. So I'm going to email this to you. Forward. What is your email address?
it's Eugene at let me type it
Eugene at okay.
at quimple.agency. Eugene,
I just sent you the documentation.
you got it? You got my doc?
Yep, I just got it. I just sent it to you.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, it probably is the same way that what we're like looking at right now. So what I'm thinking is like imagine again. So I'm trying to give you a picture, right? So we would what like give me a second. Okay, so I got this on best. We'll do this one as the docs.
So can I spitball just for a second? You tell me if my idea is crazy.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
Airtable that has all of the ones to be sent out, Airtable for all the DNC. An integration where it uploads the fresh new table in and uploads the DNC list automatically weekly. Then the API and the automation basically pulls from a database of 11 labs, those voices that we predetermine. Let's say we plan out the next like 20 weeks of A/B split tests, and we just pre-program that already. And so we already have all the voice, everything already set up, and it just needs to pull the file from some other database and then put it in and press send and make sure all the other variables are correct and then press send.
Not really.
No?
So there is 11 labs. And there is Airtable. Let's say Airtable is the data store where we have all the 10,000 contacts. Don't like think about do not contact list, whatever. So it's just messing it up. Anyway, so it's like it's clear a list of contacts with phone numbers, with everything, with let's say like with first name. So first, it's like it's columns, right? So it's like it's different columns. You would have one column, it's called text or like message. And AI will trigger on the back end make automation that will get piece by piece and create an actual message like to each and every prospect saying, hey Julie, and like or like it's probably gonna like take hey Julie like and then variable and then the same text again. So how far we would want to go with personalization, it depends, but like essentially we have again so Airtable with multiple columns, and this column would be okay. So one two like just different type of messages, right? Just written, and they will be generated on the backend with make. It's pretty okay to set it up. Like it's just the trigger from Airtable. You find the first record, you retrieve it, and then you now have all the information about the record. You upload it to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, this is the template message. This is the reference information. Personalize it." It will personalize it, and then you send it back and update this right. Anyways, so now and the output would look like the same Airtable with 10,000 contacts, but this is where like this will be a message, like an actual personalized message that we would want AI to speak and leave the note, right? The voice note. So now this is really, are you actually talking to whatever someone from the Drop Cowboy team?
Yes, I have direct line to
Can
the C.
you ask them right now, can we upload, uh, so say when we send an RVM, can we upload an MP3 file directly from the API? So the idea is that can we use unique MP3 files for each and every prospect?
Each
Because
one. I know what you're going. And let me say it like this. We are trying to personalize each RVM. Our thought process
and say to make it easier,
is
say like because so that maybe it sounds too complicated for him. Say we have 10,000 MP3s. So can we send them? Or
we are trying to personalize. We have 10,000 MP3s for each individual person. that are personalized.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it.
Can we with Cowboy's current setup be able to send out each one individually? We're trying to personalize each RVM. We have 10,000 RVMs. Boom. And he's pretty responsive too. So I'm going to actually pick up the phone and call him. 445241. Let's see if I can get him. Because we get a quick feedback loop.
Yeah.
Hello.
Elliot, Zach.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
I'm on a Zoom. You're on speaker with my developers. I just sent you a message. The idea is I've got 10,000 MP3s personalized for 10,000 contacts in our database. I'd like to send them out individually with the API. Would I be in your current setup? Would I be able to?
Technically, no. So to send out your own AI with my system, I need to get you on your own carrier. So the answer is yes and no. Right now, no, but if I get you your own carrier, yes.
No,
I'd
but
like to split test that.
What the easiest way to do it would be through Twilio.
I already have a Twilio integration.
Perfect. We need to set up an elastic SIP trunk in Twilio. I could help you literally do that in 10 minutes if you want.
Yep. So
right.
let me game plan the whole thing out, and then I'll time block time in your calendar.
Zach,
Perfect.
can you?
Hold on, my developer has a question. Go ahead, Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and just to make sure, are we not able to send, because we already, so like, don't think about AI. It's already done. So we have just 10,000 MP3s. So we cannot, through the API request, attach a unique MP3, right? We cannot do that?
You could, but I don't turn that ability on for anyone that's not on a bring your own carrier.
Okay. Okay.
So Elliot, you get what I'm trying to do with the A/B split test. I want to see if I get any using your infinite knowledge and wisdom about how you set up your thing, and it's working well for us. So thank you for that. It's way better than JDI. And split tested against my own carrier with Twilio, but personalized messages to see what kind of response. So
I always tell people to A/B test AI to make sure you get an additional uptick in callbacks, right? To make sure it covers the cost of it. So, and getting your own carrier will, it'll probably cost a little bit more all in. We'll work through it though. Yeah. So just make sure your Twilio account, is it brand approved? You already have a profile in it, you're using it for other stuff?
I've set it up. I feel like I've been approved. It's just been sitting there because I didn't really use it for anything.
Okay. The one thing to make sure you do before you set up your meeting, and I'll shoot you a screenshot when we get out of here, with an explanation, because it takes 3 days for Twilio. Sometimes it takes 3 days for Twilio to approve. And then once you're brand approved, then we can set up the SIP trunk. It'd be nice if that's already done when we hop on, and then we can easily just set up the SIP trunk in 10 minutes and go from there.
Perfect. Let me game this out, and then I'll. Do you have a calendar link you can send me?
Yeah. Do you want to do later today or next week?
Most likely. How late today could you do?
Probably I could do 3 or 4. Maybe around. I don't think I'm going to have a meeting at 4. I might, but I should be able to do around 4-ish Mountain Time.
Mountain Time. Okay, that changes things. So what is that Eastern Time? You're like 1 hour behind? 2 hours?
2 hours right now, so it'd be like 2 p.m.
So what time your time?
4 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. your time.
No, I think it's the other way around now.
Yeah, it is the other way around. You're right. Yeah, 6.
It'd be 6 o'clock my time. Let's plan for early next week.
Okay. I was just saying because my calendar link won't let you book today, right?
Sure.
It's blocked off. So if you wanted to, I would. But if you want to do it next week, that's perfectly fine too. I'll shoot you an email. There's a link to my calendar and my signature, and I'll send a screenshot and an explanation of what you need to have done in Twilio approval. And then, like I said, we could set up a SIP trunk in like 10 minutes on a Zoom call.
Elliot, you're the man. Thank you.
No problem. Talk to you soon.
Bye. I'm talking fast feedback loops, dude. That's how I move.
Okay, so essentially, do you still see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, like, so, okay, this part is not hard, personalize 10,000 messages, but then out of this messages, go into 11 labs and create the MP3s. This would be kind of the challenge, right? So to create 3, and like, where do we host it? Probably on Airtable or like Supabase, and then have another call. So it's like essentially another column with text. Hey, Eugene, how are you? And then the same text with 11 Labs voice, and like that's it. And
Let me just say one thing. I want you, when you're thinking through the structure, to think of it working at 20x the 10K. It has to work at 20x the 10K.
What do you mean 20x?
Instead of whatever system or processes and databases and hosting, I want you to think of it at scale, because I'm sending right now 100,000.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
So 20x it. So I want to double that. So I want to be able to send 200,000 a week.
A month?
A week.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So okay. And so I'm just curious, and how do the RVM looks? I've never received like one myself.
So it
on the user
like
side.
a missed call on your phone, and then the voicemail just pops into the inbox.
And it's not calling, right? It's like doing it right away. It's like, because I mean, to live, this, I would imagine like you need to call first, you know.
The way that so the provider that I used before Drop Cowboy, JDI, they did something where it had to ring first. Drop Cowboy has different technology where I think it's able to not to do that for some carriers, but it has to do it for other carriers. So to answer your question, there's a chance that there will be a missed call on somebody's phone, which is probably a reason why a lot of people call us back.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Like, I was just curious. Okay, good. Awesome. Now, this is done, okay, in terms of the task. So this is, we'll see how possible it is. But in terms of the scalability, let's now talk about n8n versus Make. The debate is huge right now from the people that are trying to build fancy things on YouTube and not really, do the business. In reality, n8n is more skill, like it is more like a developer tool, and in terms of how cheap it is, it depends. So you can technically self-host n8n and don't pay like shit, which is harder to do because like you would need to set up the server and get different accesses, especially if you have the multiple developers and stuff. But it's possible. So if we're talking about like that's why we've been using usually like n8n when we're like talking to the enterprise. They're like, they have the CTO that is, they don't trust AI. It's very defensive. We're saying, yeah, like we'll self-host it. But in reality, what you're saying right now, everything can be done with Make. And in Make, it's like n8n started to pick up the traction because of the multiple users. And literally right now, I think I'm the only guy in this space who's like not recording videos about n8n. But in reality, it's good. It's a really good software. But in terms of the automation, it has the same capabilities as Make. Make has more options in terms of the connections to different softwares, like Bittrex, for example, you like create it, or the Airtable. They have it out of the box, and then maybe have the Airtable also. What I'm saying is that if we are talking about like 200,000 requests, right? It's like 2,000 sequences run within Make. we are probably talking about, $200-300 a month plans, maybe like four at max. So to the scale, I mean, I don't think that this should be a problem. So it's scalable on the infrastructure. It's just getting kind of it's on the pricing side. So the like right now, and back to the mic. So for example, with he's like receiving the 1,000 like leads per day, and like each lead is qualified through Make, and he's like running of 300,000 operations in Make, and he's like paying whatever, so $180 or $200 a month. So I would say if we are trying to save, $200 a month, yeah, so with built with N8N, but it's not more, it's more on the cost savings. And I would say it's easier for you, since I would want you to really understand the system. It will be easier for you to do everything in Make, since it's more visual and it's more like in no code. This is what I'm thinking.
My thought there is, let's get a minimal viable product with Make, scale it, and let the cash pay for transition if I'm looking for a way to get a higher
Yeah,
ROI.
exactly. Anyways, okay, so this is when it comes to the RVMs. This will be the task, right? So how to create the 10K MP3s. And then once we create it, it's just a technical thing, right? So we send an API request, we call it, and we get it back. Now the question is, how are we going to track success? Okay. And currently, do you have with the cowboy, you have are you dashboarding?
Yes, we got a dashboard, and I have my team pull and add it to a Google Sheet so that we could track all our KPIs.
Okay. Yeah, so and
That could be automated.
yeah, what I'm thinking is that, okay, so let's say we already have the files, so text, we have M3, so we send an API request, and we leave them voice message. So will this be displayed on their dashboard? It probably should. Like, see, I guess some softwares don't like have it on built-in. So like when you send an API request, it should be counted in their dashboard. So it's like on your side, when you look at the dashboard, you should see exactly the same stats. And do you see like how many responded, how many called back, or like what's the stat?
We get 3 pieces of data: attempted, delivered, and undelivered.
Attempted, delivered, and undelivered. But
Mhm.
but how, when you're saying that one voice is working better than other, so how you're like measuring it?
We do our A/B tests on, like, for 1 week, we'll do for the entire week one male voice where the guy's talking really slow, and then we'll see how that performs for that week. Then the next week, we'll do female voice, young chipper voice, and then we'll see the results of that. Then we put those two together, and then we see, okay, young voice is better. Then we do male young voice versus female young voice, and we test that.
And like when you say better, you mean like you just measure how many people calling back?
We're measuring, yes, that's the number one thing that we're looking, how many inbound calls that we generate for that week.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, they'll probably have it, and then, I mean, like what I'm thinking is technically, and where do you manage incoming calls? Like, do you have?
We route them to Bittrex currently.
I mean, this is going to be a pretty fancy system, but
It'd be a very what?
fancy system. But like, let's say this, like you have a master list here. So what you can technically do is, again, I'm just thinking out loud, is once you receive a call, somewhere on Bittrex 24, you receive an incoming call. We can, so like technically, if I would use something like OpenPhone and not, or like the Twilio, just or any whatever, like Just Call, any platform to handle calling, I would say, okay, so we have the incoming call and we match it. So we send an API request to so it's like webhook. Then we are trying to find this phone number in one of these columns in Airtable. If it exists, so like if it exists, we say, okay, we got the call. So now we have 100,000 contacts in Airtable, and each contact will have, okay, like incoming call or something like that. And essentially, we can then visualize the data and say right away. So say, okay, last week we send 10,000 API requests, and we, out of them, like 200 called us back. So yeah, but do we want it? I'm not sure.
Where my brain just went as you were talking through that is it possible to do the personalized? So we're sending a personalized voicemail. Can we do a personalized hello?
Personalized what?
Hello from Vapi by putting a variable that pulls from the table.
If the call will be, if the Bittrex, yeah. So if this will be, I mean, yeah, this could. Wait. So I'm trying to.
No, keep in mind we're having Vapi right in between.
Yeah.
When the people are calling back, they're not calling my team anymore. They're calling Vapi first.
Wait.
So we put a variable in the hello. I don't know if there's variables in there that we could put, and then it goes, "Hello, Eugene. How are you? Hey, Eugene. Thanks for calling back. How are you today?" Good. Who is this? Well, it's calling from listen. Blah, 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 blah. Talk
Okay,
about
really good question. Like a really good question. I know what you're saying. We've been doing this for the outbound. It's like literally variables. It's like from here we're getting all the variables and we're saying, "Hey Eugene, how are you?" But for the incoming, this is a really good question. So okay, this would be also the
Vapi.
question.
Let's see if the hello message can do a variable. Insert variable. This could also be a URL, so containerized audio. Doesn't look like there's any. So that's a question for Vapi, right? Can we do variable placeholder for first message?
Yeah, but incoming, because so essentially you are creating an assistant, you're doing the prompt, and in the prompt you can literally do this. What's it's called in English? I forgot. Parentheses, something.
Brackets, parentheses, yeah.
Brackets. Yeah, so it's name. This you can literally use this, and you can, and when you're calling API, and you're like when you're making a call from a like API call to Vapi to make the Vapi to call someone, you can, in your HTTP body, just provide the name equals fucking Eugene, and that's it. But in the inbound, how would we do that? Like, I have no idea. I would need to see. But so it's,
Because you just came up with a genius idea of making the RVMs personalized by doing everything you just said. They're calling back, and if we could do exactly what you just said with the brackets and the name, then it could pull from the Airtable instantly and be like, "Hey, Eugene, thanks for calling back. How are you?" And you do
probably
that with
it's
a
not gonna be in,
rich
yeah.
voice. You're like, who is this?
What I'm thinking is probably it's not gonna be the first message, because I cannot envision how it would, like, I cannot envision how it would be done even by VAPI. How would they like configure it? So it's probably not possible. What is possible is throughout once we replied, once users said something, then make the tool call throughout the conversation and retrieve info.
Support. Am I able to, here we go. Am I able to put a variable in the first message of an inbound call?
Where are you asking?
Their AI doc and support. Based on available documentation, while first message feature is mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, there is an explicit dissemination showing how to use the variables in the first message for inbound calls. However, there is a reference dynamic variables in a Discord conversation that points to documentation that this dynamic variables, since the full document is provided in our sources, I cannot give you specific information for reference. I'll be checking back and telling me about dynamic variables. Okay, here's the documentation for my dynamic variables. Let me look at that real fast. Variable values. Hello, name exactly what you just said with the curly brackets. Oh, wow. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yep, we can.
Can you send me info to the doc?
Yeah, I'm sending this to you right now. Where do you prefer this, email or inside the chat?
Send it inside the chat. Okay. Then get dynamic. It's a variables.
For example, you can assistant overrides with variable values to the API or SDK.
Yeah, but this is for the assistant overrides. Fill out basically GC meaning you don't need too many. Like this is what we do for the outbound, but for the inbound, this is what it's interesting.
It says in the third paragraph or the second paragraph that starts with, for example.
For example, you could set an assistant's first message to hello, then send the name to John when starting the call by passing. When starting the call, when you start the call with variables to the API or SDK. Yeah, it seems like this it's anyways, okay. So if it's possible, we'll do that. But anyway, so yeah, let's move on. Essentially here, like this would be the system, right? And it's, I mean, we just created a pretty interesting RVM setup here. I don't really think that you would be able to do it yourself. And it's not, so what is possible here is, again, so it's like, first, create one make automation that will personalize the text, then create the second one that will personalize the MP3s, create the third one that will send an API request. Then, once the call is received, and like, let's not talk about personalization for now. When the call is received to VAPI and the VAPI process it after the VAPI, this is what you did on after, like exactly, right? So what you already did, it will send a request to Airtable, will filter and find if this is the phone number from our database. If yes, it will input all the data here. And then you can even, and like now you have a huge chunk of data that you can build, like you have the database and you have the calls that were received and the information about the calls, like the summary, the transcript, the voice recording, so that you can check it out, the positive, negative intents, stuff like that. And then obviously you would like connect it to Bittrex but all the actual analyzation could be happening inside Airtable, and you can build an interface and say, okay, in graphs, what's the weekly, what's the... So this is
That's what I
pretty...
want to focus on. Let's ignore everything else for now, and let's just hyper focus on that, get that thing. Why? That's the only thing I'm doing for marketing. That drives $5 million in revenue. Just that. And if I could get a little bit better, you're familiar with more, better, new.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could get better at doing that, that could drive 8 million, 10 million in
Yeah,
gross
I
revenue.
literally don't see why, like, would you focus on other things if this is not dialed?
I want to focus on the other things, but let's just get
No,
that
yeah,
really.
so the first one, so to the first one. And this is what I'm thinking. Like, and now I'm thinking, okay, so how do we make it
Sexy.
'cause,
Sexy for me.
yeah. Because like if I'm being honest, if someone would come to me and say, hey Eugene, like this is what I'm thinking about, I mean, I would say that, yeah, sure, pay us. So we just don't work with less than 10K. So we'd probably say 10 to 12, whatever, K for
The
this whole
whole
setup.
thing will probably be 20 to 30 grand by the time it's all done. And that's what I was talking about with you. I want to kind of take this down in chunks because I know if you try to catch all the rabbits, you end up catching none. I would like to build out the whole plan for 20 to 30 grand. That's fine. I'm good with that. It's the specifics of each piece that I would like to hyper focus on, get that right, finish that, then move on.
Okay. Yeah, so this would be the first piece. This would be the first piece that we focus on. And this would be the main driver. I think it's going to be very important for you to see how the automation actually helps the business to grow. And now you have the margins to spend on other development, essentially. Okay.
That's
Okay.
smart, no?
Yeah, I mean, so like, I mean, you have the vehicle already, so it's just you're not starting
I'm
out.
saying, brother. That's what I'm telling you. We should record. This is content for you. This is like 40 hours of content, of use case content that you could totally post. Use me on YouTube. I don't care. Like
I will,
this,
I will, like I will.
this is like the perfect playground for you to show the world what you can do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, okay, so let's do this.
I
Let
don't
me...
hear the enthusiasm in your voice, Eugene, and that's worrying me.
What did you say?
I don't hear the enthusiasm in your voice, and that's
No,
what's
no, it is no. I'm so I I heard a term from someone when I was like talking to some guy from like I think he's like in San Francisco. He's like 65 years old. He's like an investor or something. So he's looking at the AI consultancy. So this is what we've been talking about, and and I was explaining how pessimistic I am usually. So I'm like pretty and trying to like be pessimistic for all of the things, and he said the terms, I think it's strategic pessimism or something like that. And this is, I mean, my this is, I guess, my way of living. It's good description for how I live. So yeah, and that's why I'm like not trying to be super high, like DeepSeek. Okay, like everyone's talking about DeepSeek. So what? Like, okay, it's good, like awesome. It's like wiped out the whatever trillion or something from the market. But in reality, we already have the tools. So for your business, what we're already discussing, this is not about AI. Is already can do that. It's like on the cowboy thing, if they like can handle the API request with the MP4, MP3s. So I do want to start working on it. So like from my side, here's what I can do. Let me think through it just to estimate the timeline for you, because I want to make it fast. But it will take like a few weeks for sure. Once we figure out like the cowboy thing. And yeah, so then we'll send you kind of the details, and we can go from there. What I'm also thinking is, should we keep it on Airtable or go high level? But I think so Airtable would be the better choice because it's more like the database. Like go high level would probably break if we upload 200,000 contacts. I'm not sure, but like I have no idea. But
I've always kept my CRMs clean, where it's only people interested that stay inside the CRM. I don't put prospects in my CRMs. And so, and to your point about go high level, my intention is to migrate my entire business process over to go high level and just keep Bitrix as a Slack. I already talked to my COO about that, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So everything that we start building,
no, we
I
would
kind of
do
want to
it
build it
both.
like this. Yeah.
So once we receive the call, right, we would update Airtable, we would create the Bittrex contact, and we'll create the go high level. So just for the sake of testing, so you can see, okay, and like you can like see, okay, on go high level how does it feel, and in there how does it feel. So this will like make it just easier on the transferring process, I think. And in Airtable we'll still need to have it.
But you understand what I mean by keeping my CRM clean, right?
Yeah, of course. And like because some CRMs, like I'm using Pipedrive, and they have the leads and they have contacts. Like, but it's
I
there.
hate that. I hate CRMs that do that. I like Pipedrive a lot. I've used it before. I like Follow Up Boss better. It does exactly Pipedrive, but adds like a whole nother layer on top of it.
I've never like actually even explored Follow Up Boss.
Have you heard it though?
Yeah, I did, but I've never like even landed onto their website, I think.
Super sleek UI. Um, it's got that Kanban, right? That Pipedrive has, which Go High Level apparently has too. When I saw you share your screen, um,
It
but
seems like they are focusing on real estate a lot.
that's
So
their niche, but it would work for anything.
right.
Like it literally could work for anything. But to be clear again, all the contacts that we RVM separate, and really the things that get passed to go high level is just the people that have gone through the AI filter and then have been passed to, and then in the idea of building this, I need it first to work on Bittrex because that's where my team is now, but I also want to build it simultaneously on go high level.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that as we building everything out, the full solution, we're building it everything else after RVM with go high level, not with Bittrex as well.
And by the way, to your question from the go high level, this is why it became like this is why go high level became go high level because of the white labeling. It's like it's the holy grail of white labeling software. Talking to the guy from he owns the company. It's Salesforce. It's the software that is like doing the cold outbound. And yeah, so they're like also like introducing the white labeling feature for their like warming up inboxes and like do other things because they all see go level as the holy grail of white labeling software. They probably do like 100 million AR or something. So yes, and but like I was talking to a guy from Miami. Their own and like they are in the insurance space, so they are building the software for insurance agents. So and it's like they literally build the whole software on top of the Go High Level, and they like resell it as their own software. They build an extensions for Go High Level, and the agents can have their own onboarding processes. So it's like, so yeah.
Have you read the book Gym Launch?
No, I don't read
It's out.
books at all. I mean,
Do I anymore? I don't. I
I mean,
literally
I
have
don't know
chat.
why, but I really like Hermoso. Like, I really like what he's. You it seems like you went deep into his background and what, right?
So I don't read books either anymore. I think in 2025, when you have ChatGPT, you can interact with your books. You can talk to your books, and then you can talk to multiple books at the same time, and compare ideas between books. So don't read books anymore. It's stupid to start at the beginning and go to the end. Just literally ask ChatGPT to summarize it, then ask it another question, then ask it another question, and then ask it about that question as it relates to another book and compare ideas. Anyway, there's a book, Gym Launch, by Alex Hormozy, where it goes through his business models for Gym Launch, his business, where he basically combined Facebook ads and the Grand Slam offer, and it worked. And he went through like doing it for himself, growing to six gyms, then a done for you model will fly out and do it for you to I can't fly out
Teaching
anymore.
them, yeah, teaching them for
Coaching.
16 grand or something, right?
Coaching was at first for 16 grand. Then he went to licensing the whole thing.
And I
And
actually
charged
missed this
40,
part.
50 grand.
I'm not even sure like how I thought he like ended it on the actual just coursing or like for 16 grand and that's it. No.
Negative, brother. He got to a $50,000 price point by licensing the entire software
Jesus. Okay.
and the automations to do it for you, which is what I'm trying to do with the whole telecommunication tech stack. And if we build it on Go High Level, you just answer my question. I can we can white label it and get to that 50,000 price point, 60,000, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, because like my thing is that I'm super visual person, and that's why maybe it started with Make and not Zapier. I hate Zapier, and kind of NNN is still visual. I need to see, so that's why I cannot read books. I need to see, like, even when I can't listen to the podcast, I see like I watch podcast on YouTube. I need to see their faces, like what they're talking about. So yeah,
You heard of Haven?
yeah, yeah. Never
Have you?
used it as the avatar.
Mhm.
No, I saw like there are a few guys in the community in my like boot camp. They're like I saw they were like playing around with it, but no.
Yeah, I played around with it. I played around with Runway ML, Sora. I created some like unique stuff. Um, anyway, circling back around because I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Uh, I think so. The idea in mind is to build the entire thing for like 20 to 30 grand, right? With all of the specific customizations. And what I'd like to do is take it in chunks, right? Where we just went into just the RVM, because as you can see, we can get way better by the personalization and all that stuff, right? And so start there, build that out, hyper focus on that. I pay you for that. And also I pay you for this conversation. Let's have this
No, this
conversation.
conversation is included. This conversation is included in the package. So yeah, okay, yeah. So I will, because as I said, so it's gonna be probably like 10K, but like the thing is that we are charging the upfront 10K. So if we are like doing, for example, the 20K, that's why I said like it's 50, 25, 25. So we're chunking it down because we need to see the 10K deposit to like
That's your goal. That's your goal. I get it. You want to get
yeah,
10 grand.
but I'm just what when I say that, give me some time to prepare, not to kind of put up the price. It's more like to give you better understanding on the timestamps. Plus, like to understand like, okay, so how long it's gonna take, and just doing the kind of the milestones, sub milestones is like the sprints with, okay, so let's first we'll design the Airtable, thing. You'll provide the 10,000 contacts, right? As an let's start like 1,000 contacts as an example. Then we'll create the personalization automation. Then create the MP3 personalization. Then we'll create the VAPI AI thing. Sorry, not the VAPI, with the API calls. So it's like one by one, right? And then we'll create the inbound thing that will. So once the VAPI is answering the phone call, it will send an API request after the conversation is done and check if the contact already exists in our database. Yeah, so this is the plan. So give me some time to think on how long it's going to take. I know that we're kind of in a rush, so it's probably going to be whatever. So 2-3 weeks.
My thoughts there are, when it comes to let's just take that RVM piece for a second. I've already set up the VAPI. I'm really comfortable with where it's at. There's some tweaks I want to do. I set up the make integration. Your team's going to come in and just take where I'm at and just kind of take it to another level. So there are like elements of this that like I want to be a part of, and there's elements that I want your team to come in and make some of those specific API stuff that I probably couldn't do because it requires code.
No, sorry, you're wrong. No, you can do that. We'll just make it. But so here's what is gonna happen. Okay, we will actually build it like so imagine Airtable, 10,000 contacts, and probably 3 to 5 make automations. They do not require code. Like you can technically build them. But again, so you're like paying for the expertise, since I'm telling you, when I say, hey, yes, you need to create an automation that will create the MP3, and then that will like actually do the API calling, and then we'll revert back. And so it's like, we will like build this thing, Airtable with multiple automations, right? You would not need to do anything yourself, since this is the whole process. And let's say like we build it within 2 weeks, and then you go deep into this and you like understand each and every step, and you will be able to understand, because all of them are pretty straightforward. So they do not kind of require the custom coding if we're not talking about like API request stuff.
Okay. I do have to jump to this meeting, but
Yeah.
I'll let you think about it, and then I'll pull up my thoughts as well, and then we'll circle back around and share each other's thoughts.
Yeah, I'll send you a bit more info. Yeah.
Perfect. And you'll send me that link, right? Take care of the 1,000 to you.
Let's actually, whatever. So do you want to wait for until we make the decision on this?
I just didn't want you to feel like you're wasting your time, but I do have to run to this meeting. So
okay, go ahead. Yeah, go.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye.
go.